seeing you again.
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
What have you been doing in the last few weeks?
Oh, well,
Didn't
you know,
leave on a good note.
I recently got into, what's that sport where you push the puck around on the board?
Like,
you know, it's a...
Like shaving or shuffling? Or...
Yeah, the shuffleboard. Yeah, shuffleboard. I've been competing recently.
You've been competing in shuffleboard.
Yes.
On your hiatus from the show.
Yes.
You quit the show to fulfill your shuffleboard dream.
Yeah, and so far it went pretty well. But I thought, you know, why not come back? I was missing the flair of the show. But I mean, what have you been doing?
Well, you know, I didn't want to do this thing solo, so I actually took up dancing. Oh. And I ended up in the Super Bowl halftime show this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was actually the left shark.
Oh, that was you, man?
That was
That's
me.
Nuts.
I didn't quite, you know, pick up as much, but I was getting it.
Okay.
You know? And I don't know if anyone saw it or not. I don't know if people tune into the Super Bowl.
You know, Katy Perry appreciated what you did, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
And that's right, TOONSTERS. It's good to be back. Because we're raised by Toons, and I'm Dan, the Pigeon Man Mason.
And I'm Chad, the Sewer King Cook.
And today we're going to be digging into an old favorite called Hey Arnold. Get it, Arnold, yeah, get it. Wow, wow, finger handshake with Gerald, yeah. Harold knocks over the trash can. Flashlight. Oh, snap. West Side Story, here we go. Mean Street, don't you know? You feel like something real's going down.
Yeah, like are they about to fight each other?
They're about to West Side Story this. But then they pose like 90s Backstreet Boys.
She was just trying to get down the street.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Raised by Toons is doing Hey Arnold, Craig Bartlett's little gem from 1996, and it spanned all the way to 2004, giving us 5 seasons, 100 episodes of the brilliant little football-headed orphan boy. That's not the best way to sell the show.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't technically an orphan, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that right after a word from these sponsors, which I guess I'll speak on behalf of. Today we're sponsored by the Jolly Ollie Man. Scram, you little brats. And we are going to discuss in our long-awaited return. How does it feel to be back, Chad?
I mean, it's pretty good. It was a nice hiatus that we were, off on, and I traveled the world and obviously shuffleboarded.
He looks thin. He looks beautiful.
I've been dieting. I've been exploring all.
I would get images on my phone of just him inside caves with minerals glowing, and
I hunted great white sharks.
Did guttural chanting with monks. It was beautiful.
For a while, I was fighting the Japanese, protecting the dolphins.
Nobody asked him to.
No. And
he did that out of the kindness of his heart.
I harpooned a guy. He's dead. So I had to, see a therapist about that. But it worked out in the end. The dolphins are safe.
Hey Arnold was October 7th, 1996. And lasted to June 8th, 2004. Hey Arnold is a very special personal favorite of mine. I say that a lot, but only because I'm picking shows I like. Because why wouldn't I pick shows I like?
He has control over the shows at the moment.
I've turned down Mighty Max at least 6 times at this point.
It's a good show, damn it. It's coming.
Don't worry, folks. Cat Bauer Cook. You'll never get it, ladies and gentlemen. You'll never get Mighty Max.
Vote. Send emails saying you want Mighty Max, and we'll cover that show.
You can hashtag Skullmaster until your face is blue. It's not going to work.
It'll happen.
But let's get into origin stories.
Yeah, of course.
Shall we? Chad was raised in the alpacan Himalayas.
Actually, it was the Galapagos Islands.
Well, takes one to know one.
Well, no, because you know how the Galapagos turtles are there.
Filbert.
Well, I'm part turtle.
Oh, well.
Or tortoise, I guess.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. That's what I was confused about, was the actual structural integrity of... Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Arnold.
Okay.
Arnold.
Hey, Arnold.
And also, maybe possibly, Arnold Shortman. It was hinted that his last name might have been Shortman this whole time, even though it's been a mystery wrapped in an enigma, surrounded in a cocoon.
Or possibly the grandpa, Steely Phil. Possibly he just didn't respect his grandson and just didn't call him by name. And
just took his last name away,
said,
his birthright.
Hey, short man, you're short. I'm taller than you. You don't deserve anything. Your parents don't love you.
This is taking a bad turn.
I mean, that's probably where it could go. But I'm a cynic.
Yeah, no, are you?
Yeah.
Really? Arnold himself began on, if you guys remember, on Pee-wee's Playhouse, there was a little short called Penny, which was a claymation about a little girl with pennies for her eyes. And Arnold was her friend that would help her answer mail and just whatever she was going through in the episode. But he was very soft-spoken, quiet, ancillary character. And...
well, sorry to interrupt, but would you call the show a dramedy, like a mix?
Hey Arnold?
Yeah, comedy,
or Pee-wee.
Well, no, not Pee-wee, of course.
So it was tragic in a sense.
Obviously,
that he was just locked up in a cell somewhere and imagining it all.
That's actually a good interpretation of the show. I mean, I could see that being true. But he interacted with other people. Would those be the tenants?
No, those are just like that's just the furniture.
Okay.
That's why all his furniture talks to him. And he has a pterodactyl.
Okay. Well, back to Hey Arnold. But would you say, because he's dealing with sort of grown up situations in the show?
It is,
but it's comical in the sense of the characters around him.
It is a cartoon that deals heavily in life issues and dramedy. I guess it's all over the board because there's times when I'm scared to tune in.
Yeah.
There's times that melt my heart, like Pigeon Man, and when Lila, her first episode, when you discover she's poor when she's being picked on by the girls.
He literally cried on that episode.
Yes, and Donna Mason can vouch. Now the fourth time Donna Mason has been mentioned on the show, but she can vouch that I was crying the first time I saw that episode.
Wait, sorry. Is your mom making us T-shirts?
She's still drawing them, hand drawn with marker.
Oh man,
it's really nice.
You guys get ready for those.
But if you back to,
sorry.
You can tell we're just stretching. Right now we're stretching. We're getting loose.
We're getting ready to dive in.
Because Hey Arnold, if you guys don't remember from the Penny, or he was also even on Sesame Street in a little short, in a claymation short. But his first animated debut, as some of you will remember, was during Harriet the Spy.
Oh yeah.
Right before the movie started, there was a little clip of the I think it was just called Arnold.
It was actually was used as an episode later. It was I'm blanking on the name.
Baseball.
No, it was.
No, that was Mickey Kaline's episode.
I think it was the lot or something on that.
Yeah.
One of it was in the first season though. They used it, and it was obviously as good as it was when they aired it during the movie. But.
To ring a bell, your first introduction to Arnold might have been 24 hours, 15 minutes, 37 seconds until you die.
That just made me remember the name of the episode. It's 24 Hours to Live. That's what it was.
Hey! Raised by TOONSTERS. That's good.
And 24 Hours to Live, and that's where the catchphrase comes in the episode where the bully threatens to beat him up, and he's got 24 hours, to avoid it, or I forget how he solves the issue. Or
he don't hit me, I'll hit me.
Oh yeah, he goes crazy. Yeah,
that
he
sort of
crazy.
James Brown.
Yeah,
song.
it's like ha.
And he starts smacking himself with trash cans, and Harold goes, "Hey, you're pretty cool. Want to be in our club?" But that was probably your first little taste before you saw a little Harriet the Spy eating tomato sandwiches and getting adventurous with Rosie O'Donnell.
Whoa.
Not in any weird way.
Oh, sorry, that was all me.
But for those of you that don't know, Craig Bartlett, the creator of Hey Arnold, before he was working on a few different shows here and there, but he wound up with a few writers of Rugrats, and from there, there was too many of them, and they kept clashing with things, so they all split up. However, two of them went to brainstorm a new show with Craig, and the execs, he was trying to get the Penny show picked up for Nickelodeon, which you might have even recognized Penny shorts on Nickelodeon for a while, newer ones.
Oh.
Along with, like, this was around the era of, like, the like that part, where the commercials were sort of little bits, and, like, kablam, stuff like that. But, so...
Good times.
Oh, right. So, he was trying to get that picked up off the floor, and the executives were more interested in the quiet ancillary Arnold over in the corner. So they gave him that sort of flighty dreamer who is the straight-laced sort of guy that just wants to do right in the world.
Help people out. Very sensible. Obviously, he might seek advice from others around him, but usually he is able to come to his own moral decision.
Yeah, he follows along the same veins as Doug, or I'm trying to like those characters that are a blank slate yet have a lot of layers and involvement, so that they're not just like, oh, who cares, but you throw yourself into those shoes. And Arnold is somebody that you want to root for, because he's not just a quiet sort of fly on the wall. He gets active, and he is passionate about things.
He's the good Samaritan that you hope that there's many of out there in society, but there might not be.
He's the guy that will stand up for you 1 second, but he's also the guy that will break up the fight the next second.
Very true.
And the adventures they go on.
Oh man, but like, I mean, they live in the city, right? Which is pretty much New York. You get the sense of that.
It's technically Hillwood.
Yeah.
Hillwood, USA.
But like the cities, the way it's drawn is it seems very New York, and like the mix bowl of characters that you run into seems like a melting pot type of deal.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of get the sense that it possibly is a New York City, or a city of similar, like Philadelphia, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of the city, there's the glue that holds Hey Arnold together is the characters.
That's true.
And besides the classics of Helga G. Pataki, the bullying girl with the impassioned soul and love for Arnold.
Love
just poetic.
And isn't it? It's sort of like that opposite of how boys react to girls in elementary school. The ones that they like, they'll pick on, but it's kind of the opposite way with the girl picking on the boy that she likes.
Yep.
And I thought that was very ahead of its time in a way, giving women's lib, a little bit of a
giving those dames something to root for.
Yeah.
You barbarian. You goddamn caveman. But she was a complex character.
No,
she was a tortured soul.
Yeah.
And she had the shrine to him made of bubblegum and like feathers in her closet. Can you imagine what would have happened? Oh, it's happened in episodes, but she was caught, like her parents walked in on her just kissing this gum mold.
And like she almost got found out early on with her pink diary. Oh. She loses it, and Arnold picks it up, and he's wondering who wrote it, who owns it. And
H is for the hand I wish to hold.
Yeah.
E is for the blah blah blah. I can't remember now.
But out of all the characters in Arnold, would you consider yourself, Dan, would you consider yourself a person that is surrounded by eccentric people that you would interact with, or would you find yourself one of those people that interact with that kind of blank character, that stale, that sensible guy? Like you're not, you talk to him, but it's never you. It's not all around you. You're not the center of attention. Right.
And I think people listening on the podcast will assume that I'm the extrovert and sort of like the one just because I talk over Chad as he talks, and the second I see his lips start to purse open, I hop in with just nonsensical gibberish.
Because he knows
just because
that I'm about to
say something really stupid.
Yeah,
so I hop in.
He likes to
finish his sentences for him.
Yeah, just like my sandwiches.
But you would think I'm the extrovert, or like I sometimes I feel like I'm the one that wants to get into the pit and start going. But I'm very much the one. I am very much a fly on the wall. However, Chad and I were talking off mic about this before, about being introverted and extroverted, and we were saying that I was saying I was a bit more of introvert with a little extrovert, but I found out a new word, Chad.
Yeah?
An ambivert.
Ambivert, what's that?
That's when you're both, like, ambidextrous.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I would feel like I'm a mix of both, where I can be the center of attention, but when the second my energy gets lower, I fall to the back of the room and stick to the wall.
I can see that. You know...
What are you?
I mean, I could see parts of that ambivert being me, but I'd say I'm more introverted because I keep to myself. I don't express all my thoughts, except through this podcast. Most likely, it would be this is the most extroverted that I've probably been with, speaking wise,
without a restraining order.
Yeah, or getting someone pissed off. But
nobody can punch him.
Yeah, nobody can hit me
except
here.
me, and I just sort of kick him under the table.
But pretty much, yeah. No, I love to interact with new people, but obviously it takes a little bit for me to warm up, or I have to be in that sensible attitude that can just be like, "Hey, what's going on? But I'm always weary what to say to those people because I don't know their sense of humor. I don't know their, and I'm always thinking. So I'm a thinker, not a smart thinker, but I'm a thinker. And do
you have like conversations in your head?
Yeah. While they're talking to me, I'm not paying attention. I'm just shaking my head, yeah, because I'm thinking of what I'm going to say.
I'm going to have to talk soon.
So I'm like, oh,
when they stop talking, I have to say something.
And then sometimes I just miss what they say, or I pretend, yeah, no, that's great. That's awesome.
These are good skills for both of us to be in charge of a radio show, just not listening to the other.
Like, whatever he said, yes to that.
Is there a character that you most similarly relate to? We have Stinky Peterson, the tall Texan. We have Sid, the little guy with
slimy,
the nose that
greasy,
has no care.
Cat backwards.
I have no clue where his nose begins. We have Phoebe Firedoll. We have, and then we have the extremes, such as the Sewer King.
Oh, yes.
We have Wheezin' Ed, Brainy.
And technically I could say I'm a bit of everybody, but I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to cheat out the listeners here. Mm-hmm. But I could say Gerald for one, because we're both of
black,
color.
Right.
Yeah. And that's always a big deal with people. But
half the audience is, what?
But
I thought Dan was. By that silky Isaac Hayes voice.
Oh, yeah. But, because there's part of Gerald where he's, after he tells his story, like, I'm terrible at telling stories, so I wouldn't be able to be like Gerald in that sense, but he's also shown in the cartoon being afraid of certain legends that he's even told himself. And so, like me, I was very chicken as a kid. I wouldn't go, oh, let's sneak into this abandoned hospital, and, because I'd be like, no, I'd rather not get stabbed or shot or arrested or blah blah blah, because I was always afraid of being of those subjected to terrible things.
Like in horror movies,
because they're real.
You'll go first.
They're real, and I'll die faster because everyone else faster than me, and I'd rather not die.
So I think I'm like I've said in many episodes, when I see something, I'm very impressionable at a young age,
okay.
And I try to recreate it if it's something within the realms, which shows like Doug and Hey Arnold were very much in the realms of something I could do in real life. So when I was a kid, I did The List. There's an episode of Hey Arnold
classic.
Where this list is passed down from kid generation to kid generation. Gerald is the keeper of the tale. And it's waking up at 6 a.m. and watching cartoons till dance fever or something like that. Riding your bike down the steepest hill.
Yep. Eating a big bowl of cereal.
This sounds very familiar. So
yeah.
It's not too much different from what I'm doing at the age of 27.
So you'd say you'd be an Arnold, pretty much?
I would say I'm an Arnold, but then I also relate to a few others. I feel like all of us can relate a little bit to Stoop Kid.
Oh, of
as
course.
far as being afraid to explore the world around us.
That was a obvious episode of a kid with a psychological issue.
He had agoraphobia.
Yeah. Oh no, he was outside, but he couldn't leave his stoop though. That's the thing. So it's agoraphobia, but not quite, because he is outside, but he can't go. Did he go inside? I forget. His house?
No, the funny thing was they showed him all night. Arnold staked him out one night and saw him sleeping, watching TV, and everything all on the stoop.
So he must have like a pee bucket or something.
Yeah, and no fucking parents.
Yeah.
Because how are you staying in this place, but your parents are just like, honey, come back in.
I mean, that's...
Or dealing with you, helping you out.
Although that's the city life, man. You'll run into that. People have their quirks.
Like Monkey Man?
Like Monkey Man.
Monkey Man, for those of you that don't know, introduced in the first episode, is he runs across the screen going, Monkey Man!
Being chased by dogs.
as Monkey Man do.
Of course.
And they gave him his own episode later, which Chad brought up an excellent point.
Yeah, well, like, I always wondered if they already had an episode planned for Monkey Man ahead of time, or if it was a random kind of thrown out there in the beginning of the first episode of the series.
Like Futurama.
Yeah.
How Nibbler was planted, and it wasn't something they just threw back in on the DVDs. He was there.
Yeah, and I was just curious if they thought that far ahead, character development-wise or story plan-wise, and I just think it's always creative or it's always fun to revisit those cartoons, and when you're able to make those connections, it's somewhat enlightening to think, like, maybe they did plan this, maybe they didn't. Obviously, on the DVD, maybe they do mention it. I don't know.
Did he ever mention what his powers were? Or, like, why? Like, he ate bananas. He could... It was... You know what it was?
What?
He had Tourette's.
Oh.
And his tick was saying Monkey Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes much more sense.
Do you remember, like, he would be halfway through a sentence, he'd be like, Arnold, I don't know if I can Monkey Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
Yeah, I just thought about that. There's another thing Chad and I talked about off mic. Our best shows, guys.
Yeah.
You got to hear us.
Yeah, you got to, come to our little gatherings, and maybe you'll hear some good stuff.
Man, when this microphone's on, we are shit. But when it's off, we actually have good conversations. And one of them was just how the characters in this, since Hey Arnold was sort of a grounded to reality show in a sense that things were exaggerated but not Ren and Stimpy like or Tex Avery like, a lot of the people in the city, it shined a light on mental health issues and like people with severe character personality disorders. Like
with the Sewer King, this guy, he lives in the sewer with rats, and he's although he's sort of a aristocrat down there. He's
welcome
king.
To my humble abode.
Yes, and he when he interacts with Arnold and Gerald, he calls them his serfs, and he's just he's got this royal attitude about him, but obviously he's surrounded by shit and piss and all that.
The last pick of his domain.
Yeah, and so it's just to obviously, I mean, there are homeless people in a city, but I mean, to that extent, these are exaggerated versions of people that can go that far, which is...
But they're not all batshit.
No, they're not all batshit.
Some of these characters end up to be Pigeon Man.
Yeah, very sweet,
very
gentle.
Very beautiful episode if you guys want to look it up.
Get a tissue. It's kind of sad.
It was beautiful.
But it was beautiful. Sad.
Arnold's carrier pigeon was sick, so he brought it to the urban legend known as Pigeon Man, who turned out to be a very sweet man who was picked on as a child and sort of exiled himself onto the rooftops of a building, and just birds were his friends. And he was voiced by Vincent Schiavelli from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's the guy with, like, the sunken-in eyes, thin face.
He played I think a Bond villain in one movie as a crazy doctor or something. Not that anyone would remember that.
But it ends with the kids trashing his place while he's gone, with Arnold having a day of fun and learning to trust humankind again. And when he comes back, he decides it's time to leave.
And, the way he goes into the soliloquy, pretty much, of just how humans are the way they are, and he can't understand them, and he understands birds even much more than humans. And just at the moment, it sort of almost looks like he's given up, and he's gonna jump off the side of this building. And then all of a sudden, pigeons come along and grab his back, where he's got these little strings attached to rings, and they just pull it out, and they lift him up into the air, and he's still talking to Arnold. Just
always wash your berries.
Always wash your berries.
And head towards the sun.
Yeah. And it was just like, wow.
Wow, man. Wow, man.
Can't even...
Chad, if you were to live in Hillwood, along with Arnold and the gang, what would you be? Like, what's the exaggerated Chad character?
It would have to deal with a moral compass, which way I would turn in that. I mean, if I went the bad route, I'd probably be, maybe this one kid in the park that he on the list, the episode with the list, he wants to play baseball, and he's like, hey kid, you want to play ball and catch? And the guy goes, yeah. And then he throws it, and the kid catches it and just starts laughing and runs away with it. And I think I'd be that kind of like...
I don't think that was sadistic as much as it was another shining on mental health issues.
Yeah, I mean, the kid probably wasn't all there. But, I mean, I don't know.
I might like not be... the guy that constantly yelled at them from out the window.
You know what I would be? I think that... sort of mixed with the ice cream man.
The Jolly Ollie man, who's sponsoring this episode. Thank you, Jolly Ollie man.
Thank you, Jolly Ollie man.
He was just angry and bitter towards kids.
And it was just the anger that he projected towards them feels like something, like, since I'm an introvert, I don't usually get angry at people or whatever, but I'll keep it to myself. But the way he does it, I think that's me. I would aim that towards kids, because I just a hate-filled monster.
That's the nicest way to put it. Oh, you know what we didn't do?
What?
Our cereal recommendation.
Oh, yes.
We've been dusting off the cobwebs for so long that we didn't even say that I think you should all sit down at home with a loved one, snuggle up, grab a football in celebration of this, and just love it tenderly. A gum-shaped football, and have some Golden Crisp. That's right.
Golden Crisp.
The one with the stoned bear mascot, with that I think turned into Smacks or something. I don't know. But Golden Crisp, because back in the day, I actually was eating a bowl of Golden Crisp. I believe it was about 1998. I do believe, and there happened to have been a 3-foot Arnold poster in there that you could only get inside the box. Now here's the fun thing: you had to turn in 3 box tops for it.
Oh, so you were that kid. The guy who collected box tops.
Yeah, I got a free poster.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, I'd rather get a little squirt gun toy or a little stand-up plastic piece of shit.
Some of us earned it.
Hey, I earned it by eating my way to the prize, not just dumping it out into a bowl and pulling it out, okay?
What was the box top episode of... Oh my god, it was Hey Arnold!
It was.
Oh, it was Hey Arnold! Oh my god! So, how perfect! Hey Arnold, they collected the box tops, but Arnold made them eat all the cereal so they didn't waste it.
That's true.
So they could get the telescope to see the stars, because Halley's Comet was
passing by, and didn't someone he was waiting for it to come by again, and like he didn't want to have to wait another decade. Yeah,
his grandpa couldn't see it again.
Yeah, so he wanted to see it before, because he obviously was too old and die. And
no, but yeah, they wanted everyone to shut off the lights, so they tried to promote it by handing out flyers, and they got onto a radio show.
Yep.
And they finally got everyone to turn out the lights.
Who would have thunk 4th graders could do all that?
Because when his grandpa Phil was a kid, he saw it with his grandfather, and it was 23 skidoo.
Oh.
He saw it with his grandfather, and he always remembers that moment, even in his old age. And he wanted to share that with Arnold.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do it because in a city, the lights are way too bright. And I can vouch for this. Living in the city that
Wait, what was that? Ah, okay.
Living here, I used to live in Ringe, New Hampshire. I guess I can say that because I don't know. But we used to go to school in Ringe, New Hampshire, and you could see like the stars looked almost like it was daytime out at night.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And here, you'd be lucky to see the Big Dipper on a good night.
That's true.
But I can't believe they collected the box tops. Oh, full circle.
There you go.
Look
full
at that.
Circle. But my cereal though, I would.
Sorry, damn it.
Sorry, yeah, you cut me off again.
Oh,
there you go.
We didn't even get into like the origin. Remember we started talking about how the show started?
Yeah.
Well, fuck that.
No one really cares about how it started. They just love that it was there.
What, Chad? What are you going to eat with the cereal?
I'm going to eat a nice bowl of Trix because all the shapes of the berries and whatnot, that, I think,
so the
fits.
old ones, right?
The old ones. Have they changed recently?
They're just spheres again.
What? My God,
Chad.
I haven't explored Trix lately, but I would say the old Trix were the shapes and the different fruits because they obviously taste like different fruits and they were healthy for you. But the shapes remind me of the oddly shaped heads of many of the characters of Hey Arnold. You got football head, you got Stinky he looks like an asparagus head almost. You got the weird kind of squash head of Gerald. I could go on, but that's just ridiculous. But to go off subject, sorry,
Wait,
off the cereal.
Us go off subject.
I mean, what? But we've mentioned the episode, The List, a couple times already this episode, and I was just wondering, like Dan, if you had a list. I mean, you said you did make one.
Yeah.
And what were some of the things that you had on it?
So me and my friends actually did come up with a list, and we had a thing that we would wake up at 6 a.m., watch cartoons.
Okay. But
I think it was until when the Saturday morning block ended. It wasn't until Dance Craze.
I see.
And then after that, we went to the town pool, and we were supposed to stay in it until all of our hands were pruny.
Okay. Except
one of our friends just never got freaking pruny. It was 4 o'clock at this point. Turns out, he's like, he had like a skin disorder or something. That's not a joke. Like, this is true. I know, like, Tim Roy, I know who you are. I'm shouting you out right now. Can we beep that out?
No, we'll get.
I just called him out, so I guess so. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Thanks a lot. We missed
half
that
the
he fucking day.
Not that he listens.
So, no, not anymore. Not after that day. So then we killed Tim, but then we went to my house and we played. I have a pool table back at home.
Oh, Mr. Rich Man over here.
We had a game called Ninja Turtles Pool, where all the solid like colors, like the purple, yellow, blue, but then yellow was April O'Neil, white was Splinter.
That's
and then the other side with the stripes was the foot soldiers, and then black was Shredder and like stuff like that. So you would throw the balls at the other balls. People got so fucking hurt during this game, but we loved it. Kids will be kids. But after all of our fingers were broken, we did that, and then I think there was something about we snuck into a movie, like one of those drive-ins.
Okay.
And by snuck in, I meant we stayed outside and listened in because we were too chicken shit. I didn't have to go on that long.
No, you didn't. You didn't. But it's fine. People are interested more in Dan. So, but whatever.
They just don't like Chad.
I'm not gonna hold it against them.
The numbers have spoken.
Whatever.
You know what reminds me of you?
What?
We're sorry. Were you?
What? Oh, I mean, no. I would have went into what I would have done for a list, but it's not that interesting. It's more or less.
I feel like you would have offended somebody somewhere.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably a lot of
First, we take
crass.
Anybody who doesn't look like me.
Anybody who has candy that more than me gets
Chocolate
extra...
Boy. Not calling Chad
Yeah.
Chocolate Boy. I'm referring to the Hey Arnold character, Chocolate Boy.
Yeah, but I would rule over. I mean, now this is not even turning into a list anymore. This is more of a domination.
Is just weird.
World. Yeah, so let's skip all that crap. Let's skip it.
You did remind me of something,
What?
though. Speaking of, like, that dominating sort of thing,
Yeah.
there is an episode that, in my memory, plays out the same as it did when I saw Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
and this is The Longest Monday. And it's when they had trash can day, and the fourth graders were being maliciously sought after and dunked into garbage cans by the fifth graders, Wolfgang and his crew.
Yeah.
And the way this plays out, the way they
like-
the kids talk, the way they describe their friends being tossed in is like war.
It's, I mean, like the Wolfgang being a very I guess I could go with German name. I mean, I wouldn't want to compare it to any war in particular.
But if you had to,
if I had to, I would
it'd
say
be like the Nazis.
the Nazis and the whole Holocaust situation. You know,
But
and
the way he's talking, there's
Yeah.
the way that the lighting is in the episode. They're very they nod at it.
Yeah.
They're saying it's that sort of feel in the air.
Like even one part where the weasel.
Oh,
he
Mickey the Weasel.
Mickey the Weasel. He tricks Gerald and Arnold into a sense of security, and like he's giving them a good escape route out of town so they can miss being trashed, thrown in the trash.
Sound familiar? Like when people used to pay a lot of money, their whole life savings to
Yep.
escape,
Yep.
just to be double-crossed?
And it turns out he just brought him right to Wolfgang, and it's just such a man. He was a little slime ball. I wanted to punch him in his
Doesn't that episode
big
like
old nose.
that episode hurts because it's very good, but there's a lot of tension in the sense that it's not that far-fetched.
No.
Bullying is taken to extremes sometimes, and that's not too crazy where a bunch of fifth graders would throw kids in the trash.
True. This made me just think of it now because we were talking about it. But I think since it's The Longest Monday, there is an actual war movie called The Longest Day, I believe.
Oh, you just thought of that?
I just thought of that now.
Damn.
I mean, or it's a book. Either one. It's still about a war in general. But I think it's more battle oriented than the Holocaust situation or whatever.
But Arnold's always had his hand in culture and history.
Well, I think that's because Arnold was brought up by his grandparents, and there's a sort of it skips the generation with his actual parents, and he's getting all this pre-dated knowledge from his parents. Like Phil even mentions the Second World War and everything. I think being raised by grandparents is much different than being raised by someone who's born like much later, like in the 60s or something. Like, what if you were raised by your grandparents, would you think you would turn out a little bit different, like more adult, maybe more grown up, or maybe even?
He turned out to be one of the first hipsters because of that.
That's true. Yeah.
He had a touch of old class
Yep.
with respect and discipline towards his elders.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the request, he would do it. But he's also the type to always try to aim to please.
True.
I do want to talk about some of the cultural aspects that Arnold sort of represented. First of all, the cast is amazing. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to that because I just realized I was about to skip it again, and we're already getting too far into the show. But Arnold, no, fuck that culture shit. I was gonna talk about how fuck that culture shit.
Whatever.
That's gonna be on the back of our new T-shirt.
You're not here for culture.
Raised by Toons. Fuck that culture shit.
Get a cheeseburger and shut up.
So, I was gonna refer to the Carmen episode that acknowledged Pagliacci and
that's opera, folks.
and Figaro, the Barber of Seville. But that was an amazing episode where they really took the heart of Carmen and put it in a funny, condensed version that gave you the story while still entertaining the fucking
I
pants off
believe
you.
that's what cartoons do.
Just the more you know. And it's screw that though. I want to talk about the cast because we're running out of time. So I just want to talk about the cast. The first Nickelodeon cartoon to be completely voiced by kids characters, minus the adults.
The minus the adults.
But it was the first one. It was the first time they trust those little snot-nosed brats.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there have been child actors on screen, but voice-wise, not so much. I would assume. Like
Doug used all adults.
Really, I didn't.
Yeah, it was Billy West in them.
Oh wow!
And then
I mean, a lot of adults could do kid voices.
Ren and Stimpy used adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rugrats used adults.
And then they finally decided to bring, and it's a good idea because like now you have what's the show on crap? The two brothers, and they always get with
Phineas
the platypus.
and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb. Those
are adults.
No, they're one of them.
Teenagers.
Well, he was younger when they first started.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he was like in between 9 and 15 somewhere. But he's not like 20. Is he 21?
He's like 20 something.
Really? Well, he grew up. He grew up with the show.
And one of them, like Isabel, is a famous like pop star. Or no, Isabel is the dancer from the Missy Elliott videos. The little girl. She grew up to be Isabel's voice, and she's a singer and stuff.
Awesome.
Anyway,
back to Arnold.
Hey, Arnold!
Hey!
Mud Bowl. Talk about it. No, he just starts instantly sweating. I just saw a bead of sweat trickle down his face. Mud Bowl. Well, that Mud Bowl. Do you want to start?
No, I was gonna talk about an escapade on the toilet, but you could talk about
the real
Mud Bowl
episode.
Yeah,
Mud Bowl was when Torvald, the 13-year-old from Arnold's class that got held back a few years, takes on Wolfgang's. Torvald and Wolfgang are fighting over who's gonna have ownership of the vacant lot. So they realize that they shouldn't be fighting with each other. They can have the fourth graders fight for them.
Ah, yes.
So they have a football game. Winner gets a thing. They end up becoming friends at the end, but at the displeasure of the fourth graders being completely destroyed and also losing their vacant lot.
It wasn't it in earlier in season 1 where the fourth graders were the ones who actually found the lot, and they turned it
Field.
Yes, and they turned it into a baseball diamond to play baseball. So that kind of jump from the actual fifth graders fighting over for it to making the fourth graders fight for them, even though fourth graders actually kind of own the lot already.
Yeah, they cleaned it up. They actually acknowledged that too, that they cleaned it. They called it Gerald's Field.
Yeah, named after the one and only. R.I.P.
Oh, is that where they are now?
Well, he got shit. No.
Are you? Jeez.
No. Just.
And we don't fucking edit this. Okay. Well, nobody's listening 43 minutes in
cares?
anyway.
Yeah, they're gone.
But yeah, Hey Arnold had some amazing episodes. You can watch these, ladies and gentlemen, on Hulu Plus now.
Or Amazon Prime. They're on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So, spend $100 Amazon Prime,
worth every
or
penny.
you can pay $7.99 or $13.99 for Hulu, whatever that is.
Yeah, they used to be on Netflix, but then they lost that deal, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's so it takes you back. I mean, just listening to them. Oh man. But
well, were you about to?
No.
Oh, I was just say, should we rate the show?
Yeah, I guess we have to.
I mean, yeah. But one side note though, do you think Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy got the idea for Stewie to have a football head from this show?
You know
Maybe?
what? Maybe.
Possibly.
He saw that the pattern did work.
And he's like, "Hey, I like the shape of that guy."
I like the shape of that guy. I don't know, to answer your question.
Okay, that was an open-ended rhetorical question that was not meant to be answered ever.
Then I don't want. Don't.
Okay, let's get back to our rating.
Oh, fine. Well, okay. I'm going to give Hey Arnold 5 football heads.
5 football heads, huh?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
It covered the board. It had you in tears when Lila was poor and couldn't afford, and her dad ate the last can of baked beans. And the girls. And also, when it made you think when about like classes and what labels are, when Rhonda threw that cool kids party and didn't invite everyone, so they had a geek party, and at the end it didn't matter because they all wound up together and had a good time. And then it had touching moments like the Christmas special when Helga trades in her pair of Nancy Spumoni boots that she wanted all year round, so the guy that worked at the lost prevention center or whatever, people, where you find people,
the tragedy
something like that,
yeah,
was looking for Mr. Wynn's daughter.
Oh yeah.
And she traded in because Arnold couldn't do it in time. So 5.
Well, I'm gonna have to give it 5 out of 5 football heads as well, and mainly for those reasons that Dan just went over. So specifically,
yep.
And well, I mean, it's one show that you can, even the words just "Hey Arnold," that's already got you. I mean, it's you remember like everything from the show. You remember his yellow hair, his little cap on his head.
You can almost feel Brainy breathing down your neck.
Yeah, or you can feel, I don't know. And you can feel the punch of Helga when he punches him in the face.
You can almost sense the awkwardness of Eugene as he falls down a flight of steps.
Eugene.
And he's still okay at the end for some reason.
He's the adorable klutz, you know. And, you know, there's so many characters that you could fall in love with, or you know, just...
Even Harold the Bully falls... His big, stupid Neanderthal heart melts for the little cat named Thurston, who he calls Cupcake, because he has a little cream spot in the center.
And he, even though he's like a complete idiot, he redeems himself with, like, even the clothes he wears, it's so small for his body.
Little belly button sticking out.
Belly button, and it's just like, hey, this kid's got one tooth. And, you know, he
5,
obviously...
Maybe.
He
5. This is a good show. Watch Hey Arnold. If you haven't already, you're going to be moved.
And then if you have a kid, subject your kid to it.
Make your kid do things he doesn't want to do.
Because he'll love you for it. She'll love you for it. You know, your dog will love you for it. If you want to show your dog, if you got a dog.
Your mailman might like you
more. Your mailman, invite him in. You know, maybe bring your mom and dad over. Say, it's like, why didn't you let me watch this as a kid or something, you know?
Yeah. So, I think this is what we do, right?
Yeah.
I forgot how we end these things, but I don't think we ever had a way to end them.
No, I don't think we did.
So, anyway... That was our magnum opus of Hey Arnold and our passion. We hope you enjoyed our welcome back return to Raised by Toons podcast at gmail.com. That somehow turned into the email.
Yeah.
I was just...
Oh, I didn't even know where we were.
Oh yeah, and we had questions over the hiatus.
Yeah.
But we'll get to them next time. We just figured nobody would watch this anyway. But We want to take your requests. We got more exciting shows coming along the way. Zero research, just all pure emotion.
You know, we give it from the heart, and I think that's what counts.
And who the fuck knew that Matt Groening was Craig Bartlett's brother-in-law?
Oh, twist!
That's how Hey Arnold was in the Simpsons Illustrated episode. You didn't know that.
You just got Shyamalan.
You just got Shyamalan right at the fucking end. You had no idea. And we didn't even talk about Arnold's room. And anyway, who cares?
He had a fun room.
Email us. Like us on the Facebook. Tweet us on the Twitter book. Smile us on the Instagram.
Yeah, we don't have an Instagram, but we can make one if you want one.
Anyway,
email us about the Instagram or something.
I'm Dan, the Pigeon Man Mason.
And I'm Chad, the Sewer King Cook.
And if you weren't raised by Toons,
you weren't raised right.
Oh my god, that sounded so good.
Oh yeah.
I gotta use that.